You know what's amusing? Watching someone plant a seed, nurture it with their cruelty, and then act surprised when it grows into a tree with thorns sharper than any blade. That's what they did. They didn't just break someone. They planted the seed of their own fear. And now, they get to reap the harvest. The prey has become the predator. It's not poetic justice, it's chaos. And chaos doesn't follow their rules. They laughed, didn't they? Oh, how they laughed. The kind of laugh that echoes in your head long after the room goes quiet. To them, your suffering wasn't just a pastime, it was a masterpiece. Every insult, every betrayal, every time they twisted the knife a little deeper, they weren't just hurting you. No, they were sculpting something, carving out the last remnants of who you were and replacing it with something else. And here's the punchline. They never even realized it. At first, you didn't realize it either. You were too busy picking up the pieces, trying to glue yourself back together while they danced on the shards. You told yourself you'd be okay, that time heals all wounds. But that's a lie, isn't it? Time doesn't heal, it festers. It lets the wound rot until it becomes something else entirely. You didn't just survive, you transformed. They thought your silence was weakness, your tears a sign that they'd won. But silence is where the real work happens. It's in the quiet that the darkness grows, taking root in the corners of your mind. Every sleepless night, every memory replayed on an endless loop. It was fuel. They thought they were breaking you, but they were feeding the very thing that would one day consume them. Monsters aren't born in fairy tales. They're created in the real world, forged in the fires of betrayal, molded by hands too blind to see what they're shaping. They thought they were the artists, but all they did was hand you the tools to become something far more terrifying than they could ever imagine. Do you remember the moment it all changed? That flicker of clarity in the middle of the chaos? It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet, almost unnoticeable, a shift in the air, a spark that ignited something deep within you. You didn't realize it at the time, but that was the birth of the monster. It didn't happen all at once. No, it crept in slowly, like a shadow stretching across the floor. You stopped flinching at their words, stopped shrinking under their gaze. They noticed, of course, but they didn't understand. They thought you'd grown numb, that their power over you was complete. What they didn't see was the storm brewing just beneath the surface. And oh, what a storm it was. The cracks they left in you were no longer signs of weakness. They were battle scars, each one a testament to your survival. The pain they inflicted wasn't your end, it was your beginning. It didn't destroy you, it transformed you, hardened you, sharpened you into something unrecognizable. They built you, brick by agonizing brick. Every wound, every betrayal, every ounce of cruelty, it all became the foundation of the monster that now stands before them. They thought they were tearing you down, but they were building something far stronger than they could ever comprehend. And now they're starting to see it. It's in the way you move, the way you speak, the way your presence shifts the very atmosphere of the room. They used to laugh when they saw you coming. Now their laughter dies in their throats. They don't even know why. Not yet. All they know is that something has changed. Something they can't quite put their finger on. But they will. Oh, they will. You see, fear doesn't announce itself with a roar. It creeps in quietly, curling around their hearts like smoke. It's in the way their hands tremble when they see you, the way their voices falter when they try to speak your name. They don't know it yet, but the very sight of you has become their undoing. And you don't need to lift a finger. The monster they fear isn't just you. It's their own reflection staring back at them. They see their cruelty, their arrogance, their sins, mirrored in the cold, unflinching gaze of the person they tried to destroy. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? You don't have to do anything. Just exist. Just be. And they'll destroy themselves. But let's not pretend this is some grand act of revenge. Revenge is petty, small. This is something else entirely. This is retribution, balance, the universe correcting itself in the most brutal, unforgiving way possible. They thought they were untouchable, invincible, that their power over you was eternal. But power is a funny thing, isn't it? It's not something you hold. It's something you wield. And the moment they let it go to their heads, they lost it. Now they're the ones who feel powerless. And you've become the embodiment of everything they fear. Not because you seek to harm them. No, that would be too easy. You've become their fear because you've transcended them. They see it in your eyes, the strength, the cold, unrelenting resolve. They hear it in your voice, the calm that speaks volumes louder than any scream ever could. You don't need to threaten them. Your very existence is the threat. And they know it. They know that the monster they see now is the one they created. That every choice they made, every cruel word, every calculated betrayal, it all led to this moment, to you. And the worst part? They can't undo it. They can beg, plead, try to rewrite history, but it doesn't matter. The damage is done. The monster is here, and it's not going anywhere. You're not the hero of this story. You're not the villain either. You're something far more powerful. You're the reckoning, and they're just the fools who thought they could play God. You know what's fascinating? Fear. It's not the scream. It's not the gasp. It's not the frantic footsteps echoing in an empty hallway. No, fear is quieter than that. It's the slow tightening of the chest. The moment they realize the ground beneath their feet isn't as solid as they thought, that they're teetering on the edge of a precipice they never saw coming. And the beauty of it? You're the one holding the mirror. But they can't look too closely, can they? Because they might see the truth in the cracks of their own reflection. The truth that the monster they fear isn't you. It's their own shadow, distorted, stretched, and grotesque under the weight of their sins. You see, they thought tormenting you was a game, a cheap thrill, something to fill the void inside them. But games have rules, don't they? And they broke them. They cheated, over and over again, stacking the deck in their favor, thinking they'd always come out on top. But life isn't a game. Life is a storm, unpredictable, relentless, unforgiving. And storms don't care about who you are or what you've built. They don't care about your titles or your power or your fragile little ego. Storms destroy everything in their path, leaving only ruins behind. And you're the storm. Not because you wanted to be. Oh no, you didn't wake up one day and choose to become this force of nature. They made you this way. They pushed and pushed and pushed until there was nothing left to break, nothing left to burn, nothing left to lose. They thought they were in control. They thought they held all the cards. But the thing about control is, it's an illusion, a fragile construct we cling to, pretending we can bend the chaos of the universe to our will. And now, they're learning the hard way that chaos doesn't play by their rules. You don't need to lift a finger. Just stand there, silent and unyielding, as their world collapses around them. Watch as they scramble to make sense of it all, to rewrite the narrative where they're still the heroes, still the victims, still the ones in charge. But you and I both know the truth. The hero doesn't always win. The victim doesn't always get justice. Sometimes the monster emerges from the ashes, stronger and more terrifying than anyone ever imagined. They thought your silence meant weakness, that your quiet endurance was submission. But silence is a weapon sharper than any blade, isn't it? It cuts through their lies, their bravado, their carefully constructed facades, exposing the raw, ugly truth beneath. They're afraid of you, not because of what you've done, but because of what you represent: freedom. Freedom from their chains, their control, their narrative. Freedom to be who you are, unapologetically and without restraint. But freedom comes at a cost. You've paid that cost, haven't you? In blood and tears and sleepless nights, in the moments of doubt, the battles within yourself, the endless cycle of breaking and rebuilding. They don't see that part. They don't want to see it. Because to acknowledge your journey would mean acknowledging their role in it. And that's the one thing they can't face. So they project their fear onto you, turning you into the monster in their story. But what they fail to realize is that the real monster isn't you. The real monster is the void they tried to fill by tearing you down. The emptiness inside them that no amount of power or control or cruelty could ever satisfy. They thought they could bury their darkness in you, hide it away where no one could see. But darkness doesn't disappear. It festers, grows, consumes. And now, it's consumed them. But here's the twist. The monster you've become isn't the mindless, raging beast they expected. It's something far more terrifying. You've become the architect of their undoing. Not with violence, not with vengeance, but with something far more potent. Presence. Your very existence is their reckoning. Every step you take, every breath you draw, every glance you cast their way. It's a reminder of what they've done, of what they've lost, of what they can never take back. They thought they could control the narrative, but the narrative has taken on a life of its own, spiraling out of their grasp, leaving them powerless and exposed. And you don't need to say a word, because silence speaks louder than screams. And here's the irony. They still think they can fight it. They still think they can win. But you and I know the truth. The game was over the moment they underestimated you. Because the human they tormented didn't just survive. They evolved. And evolution is a funny thing, isn't it? It's not about survival of the fittest. It's about adaptability, about transformation, about becoming something new, something stronger, something unstoppable. They thought they were predators, hunting their prey. But now, they're the ones being hunted. Not by claws or teeth, but by the weight of their own actions. And here's the final act, the grand finale, the punchline to this dark, twisted joke. They wanted a monster, and you gave them one. But not the kind they expected, not the kind that lashes out blindly, consumed by rage and pain. No, you're the kind of monster that thrives in the shadows, that watches and waits, that strikes without warning. You're the monster that haunts their dreams, that whispers in their ear, that reminds them over and over again that they can never escape what they've done. And in their fear, in their desperation, they'll destroy themselves. Because the real monster isn't you. The real monster is their own reflection. And that's the ultimate justice. So let them run. Let them hide. Let them cower in the darkness they tried to trap you in. It won't save them. It won't stop the inevitable. Because the human they once tormented has become the storm they cannot weather, the shadow they cannot escape, the monster they cannot defeat. And as they fall to their knees, broken and terrified, they'll finally understand the truth. The monster they fear isn't lurking in the dark. It isn't hiding in the shadows. It's standing right in front of them, smiling. And that smile, that's the last thing they'll ever see.